guys, MegaMat1254 here again. Welcome back to another video, guys. And today I want to do a discussion video for The Last of Us. And basically, what I want to talk about in this video, guys, is how is the show doing so far in terms of the game? How does, it compare to the game, the aspects of both ins and outs? And I kind of want to just go through and also ask the question, is the show a disappointment so far? So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. Okay, so is The Last of Us show a disappointment compared to the game? Now, there's two factors that you have to look at when you ask this question. Is it a disappointment overall in general as a TV show? And is it a disappointment compared to the critically acclaimed Naughty Dog game from all those years ago? I'm going to answer both of those questions right here on the spot. As a TV show, I don't think it's a disappointment. I think it's a very good show. It has great aspects, great visuals, a really good soundtrack. The acting is on point, with basically all the characters. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are amazing in their roles as Joel and Ellie. The acting is very good with them. The friggin' supporting characters have all been very good, like Tommy, Henry and Sam, so on and so forth. I think the actors have all really, put in their all, even though I don't like these characters too much due to the filler that they represent. Even the Bill and Frank castings and acting was very on point. I thought that they delivered a very great performance. So in terms of that, I have no issues. Now, in terms of visuals, I think it also looks very good. The visuals are beautiful in this show, guys. I don't think there's one bad visual scene. I think that the budget absolutely complements this show. And if you say that the show looks like an ugly piece of crap, then, I can't get behind that whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? That's not the issue I really have at all. Now, here's the thing. As an actual TV show, it's good. It's great, actually. It's got a lot of great stuff. Now, compared to the game, I think it's a major disappointment. And this is kind of why I feel that way, guys, is because in the game, right, and I'll kind of get into two aspects here, is, the game, we did not stop and have filler segments ever. The game was always progressing the plot forward. It was, always had something to keep you on the edge of your seat, or it had a moment where you were like, oh fuck, how do we get out of this? You always had a edge of your seat tension type of moment, because anything could happen in the game, right? And Joel was just such a badass, freaking bashing heads in and blowing people up with the freaking shotgun and all that shit, right? Fighting bloaters and clickers. Now, with the show, I have to acknowledge this. I have two mega flaws with the show right now, okay, guys? Compared to the game, these are the two things that absolutely stand out to me and are shameful so far. And that first one is Joel is nerfed. I've said it in an older video, so I won't stay on this topic too long. He's nerfed. He's weak. He feels like a grandpa at times. This isn't Joel from the game. Not even close. It's not even close. In terms of the badassery and the action, I cannot get behind it. And then, well, I guess this is the thing I'll go into, because I haven't talked about this to you guys yet, is I feel like the infected suck in this show. I feel like they're awful for the most part. You get them a bit in 1, you get them in 2 briefly. In 5, they are fucking phenomenal. I am not knocking them in 5, but guys, in 7, we get 1 infected during the Left Behind episode. We only get 1. In the game, we get a horde coming after them, right? We get a whole horde, and that's how they get bit. In the show, they feel very clumsy because they let 1 zombie get the jump on them, and that's they also cut out stuff too, in the current timeline with Ellie fighting in the mall and shit. It feels very robbed of content, if you will. Episode 3, we get 1 infected. Episode 6, I don't think we get any infected at all, really. Also, this is another thing, too, for me, is the clickers. Where are the clickers? Episode 2, cool, but that's it. That's all we've gotten for clickers. In the game, the clickers were such an amazing, creepy aspect that I really wish they used more in the show. Like, in the show, we have them for the scene in the museum, right? But that's really all we get. Like, other than that, there's no clickers, really. We get the one bloater, and the bloater was fucking cool. I ain't knocking him. He was cool. But friggin', I don't know, guys, like, David, the cannibal. Now, here's a get on to him now, is, in, the game, right? He's the main antagonist of the winter chapter and the autumn chapter, right? And in the show, he's in one episode. That's it. That's all we get. And I know you guys are probably thinking, like, oh, stop bitching, Matt. You don't know if he dies in that episode. But here's the thing, guys. Friggin', in episode 9, it's confirmed to be the hospital episode where Joel saves Ellie, right? So episode 8, David's gonna die. Either that, or they're gonna really shock us and he goes on. And if David survives that episode, then I will shut the fuck up and take all my comments back on this. But until I see episode 8, I just don't care for him dying in one episode. We got Kathleen, you know, the girl from episode 4 and 5. We got more episodes with her than David, which is a main character from the game. Kathleen does not exist in the game, guys. She's a TV original character, and she's actually the only character where I could say I didn't really care for the casting, right? Because, like, she felt too cheery and bubbly in her dialogue, you know? And then, David, well, it just feels like we're being robbed of content from that villain, to be honest. Maybe that's just me, though. And that's kind of where the game falls, like, the show falls flat for me, right? Is, it just feels like too much content was cut. Like, we lost the big mall shootout and Left Behind. Joel is not much of a badass anymore. He's kind of just a sluggish grandpa where you have Ellie hauling him around everywhere. And, frickin' the infected are very trimmed down. They're very tame compared to what we had in the game, right? We cut a lot of the clickers out. Frickin', we don't have many encounters with, like, the runners, and, well, the bloaters I'm not gonna say anything on, because I actually like what we gotten from the bloaters so far. I do hope we see a bloater again in episode 8 or 9, but at least in 5, I'm pleased with the bloater. And, yeah, that's kind of just the topic of this video wrapped up right there, guys, is, I think, compared to the game, the show is a fucking lacking disappointment in a lot of areas. Now, if you're just watching this as a show, you have no knowledge of the game, this is a lot more passable. I'd say the show is a lot better without the knowledge of the game. But if you're a guy who grew up on the original Last of Us, hell, guys, back in 2014, I had this on my PS3. I was playing through the game. I played on the grounded mode. I collected all the Firefly pendants. Like, I'm a huge fan of the first game, right? Like, I've played so many Naughty Dog games, like Uncharted, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot. So, to see this adaptation fuck up in a lot of areas, now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad adaptation. Matter of fact, this murders a lot of game adaptations from, like, a game to screen, because the Halo show is fucking god-awful. There's so many other examples I could use here, guys, but this is not a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. The show's not a piece of shit. It's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, disappointing. It's lacking. As a show on its own, as a standalone, I think it's good. As a live-action counterpart to the Last of Us video game, I think it's disappointing. That's just my take on it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think I'm correct? Or if you guys think I'm wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I've schemed over something that, like, I'm not seeing here. Like, maybe you guys could, help open my eyes to some. But, yeah, that's gonna be it for this, video, guys. Friggin', if you want to see more Last of Us content, feel free to let me know in the comments. I do love covering The Last of Us. Hell, maybe a playthrough of it down the future would be fun. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.